Welcome to the stream. I'm just currently setting things up because I still don't think it's fully working. And I don't know why. I'm able to change things with streaming. Not really. Okay, I'm just gonna continue as we are. I'll see if anything happens, because it seems fine for now. It's not showing the game, but it's not showing the game. There it is. Okay, welcome to the stream. Chat thing working, at least been able to save all that. There we go. So today, I've got one thing to do, and obviously by the title, we're going to be making a little path over there that leads all the way from our base to the spawn of WhimsyCraft. And I'm trying to make it follow the original pathways that I took to get here in episode 1. Just so that I can do the same little pathway that every time if anyone walks from spawn, they can follow the exact same path we took. But I'm gonna quickly sleep. I do apologise, it will keep, the microphone will glitch if I move around too much when loading chunks. I'm not too sure why. I still have Foxy enabled, if so I should disable that. There, it's disabled, good. There we go. I'm just going to make sure everything's working. Seems to just be a dropped frame rate, which isn't too bad. It doesn't seem to be freezing like it was last week. If it does freeze, there's not much I can do about that, sadly. So yeah, we got this little pathway. And we're just going to bring that along here. I've made 2 different pathways. This is more accurate to the path we originally took. But this one I feel like works nicer as it fits between these two. If we terraform a little bit, that could look nice, and then that just continues along. I think they meet back up around here, and then continue back. We're going to need to build some bridges, we're going to need to do quite a lot of terraining to get everything nice. Look, for now I'm just going to use a shovel and make a basic dirt path before we start replacing it with the mud, the jungle. And I think it should look nice. It did take a while to get everything back. I think it took 3 hours after just before the previous stream. And I was repairing my tools in the end when a random enderman somehow teleported to me, knocked me off, and yeah, that went everything. Like, yeah, that's about a good width for the... Yeah, we'll just continue it along this way. Well, I should mention something interesting happened. We have about... I think we have 27 shulkers full of boats over there. Last night was very interesting. And that's all I'll share about that for now. So that'll probably be quite an important segment of the next episode, whenever that will release. Everything's working fine, but... I'm trying to move this little hill that just appears out of nowhere. Smoothing it out a little bit. There we go. And then I'm gonna fill in this bit because how weird is this terrain? I think we should flatten this out. So I spent some time flattening the next video area out over there. Well, if we flatten this area out, I feel like just getting rid of this would look nice. So it's just sort of here supporting nothing. A random dip in the terrain. But does it really need to be there? We'll get more dirt. Why not put some of these back down here? That's not gonna help. We can move these little whites up a block. Although I'm going to need that. How many have we got here? We've got 3 in this little divot. And there's this one. And this one. And for now, I'll just put the rest of these flowers down. There we go. I just need more of that. Yeah. We're not going to sprint because that'll mess up the microphone, but I'm actually really happy with how the base has turned out so far. I mean, it took a while between the last stream and the video to experiment with the trees. But I think they've turned out really nicely, especially the yellow ones, and they are quite expensive, with all the gold and the honeycomb. Yeah, so every single one of these shulkers here, all full of various boats. And apparently some seeds as well. Which is very fun. I've always used up all our shulkers now. Take care of some dirt here. Let me spare. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop all of this dirt for a quick second. We can craft the wheat into hay bales and use the shulker. There we go, that wasn't too difficult. There we go, put a bit of that grass back, the xchloechxn spare inventory room. And this should do us for a while. Yeah, thankfully Scan came along last night to help clean up all the boats. Because it was actually really interesting to watch. That's it, put around. And think making videos is probably going to become a bit... I don't think I'll do a WhimsyCraft episode for a while because they're going to be very, not making them high quality. Wardrobe Fantasy keeps giving me that warning. I'm not actually sure how bad it is. It might just be that I need to like have the stream run at a smaller frame rate. I think currently it's set to 60 and maybe it just can't handle 60. I have to put it at like 30 or 20. Well, yeah, I recently updated my thumbnails, and I think they're turning out a lot better now. Like, before I was just like getting a random screenshot with shaders on, and rendering my character over the top of it. That wasn't very interesting, it didn't really suit the video, honestly. It didn't capture what was happening in the video very much. But now I'm still using the screenshot as the background, but I'm doing more on the 3D renders. So now we've got, for example, the Slippery Slope episode. That has, well, there's like the frog from the frog shop. It has, well, I don't know, dirty lady. We have the frog from the frog shop. We have the happy gas from when we actually built the waterfall. You've got that happy gas fern over there, just flying around. Even like the lighting on the tree. I made sure that... What is that menu I keep opening up? Why do I keep opening it up? It was meant to be zoom and sometimes it just opens something. Well, even the lighting on the tree where you've got like the light coming from this direction to the dark on the underside. I just think it looks really nice because on this side you'll see the tree really nice and bright. But as we make our way over to the campsite, you'll notice they go a lot darker. On this side, so like the other side it's more yellow, this side it's more orange. I just think it turned out really nice. Also help vary up the style of tree, because you'll be able to look this way, so the bright ones, look over to that side, see all the dark ones. Makes it feel less like they're all the same. I mean, they're actually not all the same this time. In previous builds, like in my Gideon base, for Season 1, all the trees are just copied and pasted. Now these are completely unique, each one. And there obviously are some better ones, like this tree I'd say is probably one of my favourites. These three here. Then you've got some weaker trees, like these two back here. But each of them are original and I quite like that. Okay, this area is already looking quite nice. After I move this one, it's in the middle of the path. Can move that across to here though. Well, I might leave one back. Let's see, does that light things up properly? Okay, that keeps it lit over here, that's good. Save all that now. There we go. Yeah, because it says 66% of my frames are being dropped. Let me just check that. So it does just seem to be a dropped frame rate. It doesn't seem to be really freezing anymore. It was doing it quite a lot before the stream. I'm not too sure why. How's this path looking so far? Okay, before that bend, I think it needs to come back a bit more. So it's very nice when the paths are more... Oh, that one, maybe I have to thicken that side up a bit. That won't look too bad, I think, yeah. Just these few blocks here just need to be... That better. And then a tiny bit here. Then again, I don't like how just diagonal that is. And then we can improve that shape. Let's make it come outwards more. But does this bend enough? No. Like if that helps this side out quite a bit, now I just need the opposite side. If this is about where the curve would be, that's too thick. How's that? I think that works well. I'll just extend the path outwards a bit more on this side. How does that... Okay, that bend is a lot smoother now. It does get a bit thin. How does that look? That's much better. Yeah, I'm sticking with this. Move this light out by one. There we go. Okay. Alright, the stream seems to be working alright. I do want to very quickly just see how it was a few weeks ago. If it was perfectly running at the regular frame rate, then I do wonder. So let's see. Yeah, it was running smoothly at 60 frames per second before. Now it isn't. I'm not too sure why. Is there anything I can close on my computer that might be not helping? My browser definitely, don't know why that's even open. Try closing Spotify. Let's try out music for a little bit. Let's just pull that down. Move the music notifier. Now let's try without Spotify. Maybe that's not helping. Let's turn on Minecraft music for a little bit. Okay, it's a bit awkward while there's no music playing, but let's see, is that helping it run better? So if it is making stream runs faster, then yeah, maybe Spotify isn't the best idea, but I don't know why it was working the first week. Then suddenly not now. It doesn't look too bad. Let me try Twitch. Twitch has less latency. Okay, oh, this needs to be moved. Does it need to be moved? Let's see. Path needs to be thickened up on this side. Maybe about that. Good. I think it was a bit thin there, so I just need to, like... Okay, that's good. That's perfect. I just don't want the path to get too thin in some areas. That area... Oh, actually, I never finished that area. I think I'm leaving that for when I do everything else. Over there. There, that's part of the tree. See, the paths are like, they're very bendy. They move quite fluidly. They're also like the same thickness practically the whole way around. So that's what I'm trying to keep up with here. And I think it's going well so far. Quickly move the slide back a bit so it doesn't. Yesterday, Scan and I were also like experimenting with redstone. It took quite a while to do, but I think it turned out. I mean, the machine works. It's not the best redstone in the world. They're still losing frames. Why? I don't understand why I'm losing frames. It should be running just as good as it was. I don't understand how, like, in a few weeks it suddenly struggles to perform as well. Maybe if I lower the render distance in Minecraft, that'd help. Just put it at 8 for now. It's not too bad. Not too little. Maybe that'll help it process more frames. Look how many frames we run at. I'm running at 112. Actually, maybe if I reduce the amount of frames. This doesn't have to work because... But this is already smooth. I don't know why I'm saying it to run this high. Okay. So like this area definitely needs a bit of terrain work. For the path to continue. So this is just not very good. I'm just gonna dig this part because it needs to have a nice, smooth area for the path to follow through. And same with this. We also will be doing a bit of terraforming here. Locally closer towards spawn, there's less terraforming that needs to be done. They'll mainly just be cutting down trees soon. Okay, that's not too bad anymore. The frame rate looks quite alright. Probably make a bed. Like just a portion of that tree is loading in. So I didn't like any music actually happened. Music frequency. Maybe that was why. There we go, so we got some music even if it isn't Spotify. Okay, let's see. So we just need the path. So up here, this is quite alright. I'm just going to move in this bit of the terrain and connect it there. There we go. How's this sort of thing? Little site needs to be a bit more from like round here. How's that? But I might not make it go out in like that direction. I think I'll just get it to go like a straight curve around here, and then we can get it somewhat like then curved around that way and remove this random bit here. Okay, how's this looking? There is still dropping specifically 66% of frames consistently. I'm really not sure why that is. Maybe I'll look into it after the stream or next time. I'm just not really sure what I can do about it. So if this was more rounded there, someone just comes here and turns flat. I'm gonna just remove my sphere, so there we go. Got worm intrude. See, that's nicer having that, like, up end. I just think it means that that's a bit irrelevant now. Okay, yeah, that's much nicer having that bend round there. No, I just want to smoothen this little bit. A nice little bend. Okay, this is good, so that it continues around here. With a few blocks here. Fill in these gaps. With the frame rate thing, there's one more thing I can test. It only means I'll be quiet for a very short bit. I'm just gonna test that.